Welcome everybody, I'm Lizzie Brooks and this is Free Yourself Flow. So thank you so much for popping in to my channel where muscle meets mindful and seriously good yoga isn't too serious. If you'll hit the subscribe button, I would love to get started. So we are going to go ahead and begin standing. So we're already going to free ourselves from perceptions of yoga that we have to start seated. Nope, out with the old, in with the new. So we might be freeing ourselves just through our minds and our breath and our body today. You might want to free yourself from stagnant ways, old ways of thinking, limiting self-beliefs, all of that. We can do all of that here. So let's begin. Take your feet just a little wider than your sitting bones. Bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes, and just feel the weight across your feet. Big toe ball joint, pinky toe ball joint in the center of your heels. And then move right up to the crown of the head. And rooting so that the head is over the shoulders, is over the pelvis, and back down to the feet. Flow your breathing in and out of your lungs without any hurry whatsoever. Take a swallow and relax your jaw, relax the throat, all the muscles of the face, nice and soft. Set your intention for this practice, and maybe it's a word, maybe the word is freedom. Take a deep breath in, sigh out, shake it out. All right, so widen the stance even further here and just begin to swing around. So if you feel weird doing this, yeah, because you probably haven't done it since you were 5. But I'm asking you to do it today just to gain access to a little bit more of that open space through the body, open space to the mind, and letting go of that idea of rigidity or restriction. Letting some of the blood go to the fingertips here. You're letting the opposite heel lift as you turn the other way so you're not torquing the knees. And then we'll slow it down a little bit more. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Now root yourself, soften the knees. Inhale, reach up, out to the sides, down and back. Up, out to the sides, slightly back and down. One more time, big expansive circles through the shoulders here. And then from here, reach your palms forward. It's like you're a zombie, but you're not because you are free. We're gonna take our fingertips forward, palms down, and then press the elbows back here. So the elbows come back, shoulder blades come onto the back. We're expansive through the sternum, through the chest. And then reach the arms forward again and back again. Now you can stay exactly there with the legs long, or reach forward, bend the knees, chair, elbows draw back, stand tall. Again, reach the arms forward, chair, press back, open the heart. One more time, reach as the knees might bend, and then stand tall as the elbows bend back. Inhale, exhale, float the arms down, roll the shoulders now a few times back. Nice. And then go wider with your stance again. Take your right arm up and over and just glide a little bit down the opposite leg with the hand, or you can put the hand on the waist for support. Broadening and opening through the laterals of the body. We'll do the other side. Careful to rise up, reach up, switch hands, and take that lateral. Just back and forth here. So we're doing some repetitive movement through this practice, not only to get the heart rate a little bit more elevated so that we can feel a little bit more free in that heart space, but also because the body takes a while to adjust and adapt to the movement we're doing. And one more time. And back all the way up. Shake it out a little bit here. And then from here, we're just gonna give a little bit of a march. So one knee and then the other, just testing our balance a little bit, waking up through the core. And again, that heart rate is gonna kick up. And then if you wanna add a core twist and a little bit of crossing the midline, one elbow to opposite knee. So do they have to touch? No, they don't have to touch. They can, but they don't have to. So crossing the midline, transferring the weight side to side, waking this up. If you want to hop instead of march, absolutely you can hop. I'm not going to hop today because I would start breathing too heavily into the microphone. Nobody wants that. And one more each side. And then shake it all out. Now we'll go to the widest our feet have been throughout this practice and turn the toes facing my direction here, and then reach the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Now this might be a bent knee fold, and you might have your fingertips on blocks or onto the floor. Inhale here. Exhale, maybe a little bit deeper. So when we're looking for freedom in the hamstrings and the spine, gentle is key. So you don't want to force it and harden out the knees. You want to keep some buoyancy, some softness in the knees, softness in the breath, and just allow for some time to give you more access to the body and to the stretch. And then from here, rise halfway up and heel toe in, and we're going to come down onto the shins in a hero pose. If this doesn't work, just come on down to seated, however that feels good, okay? And then from here, roll the shoulders back, heart lifts. Exhale, round the spine, seated cat-cow. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, expansive through the heart and chest. Exhale, round, open the back of the spine, drape the head, drape the tail. One more time, inhale, roll it back. Exhale, round it in. Inhale to neutral. And sigh there. Nice. Let's come on to a downward facing dog. If downward dogs don't work, then come into a child's pose instead. You can skip all of the downward dogs. You can also skip vinyasas. Reach the hips up and back, pedal it out here. Take a gander at all the dog hair on your mat. Oh wait, is that just me? Soften the neck. Inhale here. Exhale, lower 1/3 of the way down. Draw the organs back towards the spine. Inhale. Exhale 2/3 of the way down to all fours, but stay here. Inhale. Exhale, knees all the way down. Knees can be together or apart as you take your first child's pose. Breathing and lengthening through the side ribs. Taking your intention into your breath. From here, rising up to all fours. If you want to pad your knees with a blanket or a towel, I recommend that. I'm definitely going to do that for me. And then from here, root into the palms and take the left leg straight out to the left. So I'm going to come over to the side so you can see. So you're going to turn your toes in the same direction as your fingertips, breathing here. And then as you're ready, with your left leg out to the left, reach your left arm now out to the side, and then maybe any amount up. Opening, draw the shoulder blades onto the back. Breathing expansion through the IT band, the back of the leg, and also broadening through your heart center. You don't have to look up unless that feels good. Inhale. Exhale, come all the way down. All fours position. Now from here, you can either stay in all fours or tuck the toes and hover your all fours. So we went from a stretch and now we're in a hold, deep core hold here. So wake up even your inner thighs. Let those knees just hover really about an inch over the mat. So not coming up here for hovering, but lower down. 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, we're free from that work. You stay where you are. I'm going to turn so that you can see me on this side. Taking the right leg out, turning the toes forward. Stabilize at the core, find the breath, root the palms, and as you're ready, opening towards that extended leg, reaching up and broadening here. I know this camera angle makes my leg and my foot look like they're gigantic. They are. I just have one big leg and foot. Inhale and exhale, come on down. Put both knees down. Make sure you feel nice and balanced, totally stable. Tuck the toes, maybe hover here. So When we are looking for freedom, it's good to find our inner strength, because sometimes you have to be strong in order to gain access to freeing yourself. Breathing here, 3, 2, and 1, lowering the knees. Now from here, you can go back to a child's pose or a downward facing dog. It's really up to you. I'm gonna join in a downward dog here. And then first option for a vinyasa is here. So however you'd like to take that, drawing into your first plank pose, rocking your heels forward. You might come halfway down in chaturanga or all the way down to the floor. Cobra or upward facing dog, find it in your hands, find it in your heart, and exhale, downward facing dog. Reroute your intention deep within your heart, and then root what's touching the floor here. Soften the neck. From here, look to the top of your mat and take your feet there. Inhale, rise halfway up. You might bend the knees. Exhale, fold. Choose how you'd like to rise. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale, samastiti, which means steady and even. Hands to your heart. Deep breath in and shake it out. So when we want to free ourselves, sometimes we gotta move around. We're gonna do a little faster movement with an option for sound. So if you want to add a sound like that, that can be really clearing for your mind and your body, and just feel like you're clearing your space, okay? So first option, and I'll show you from here, is to reach up, bend the knees, and just kind of throw the arms back and make it more of a bent knee, straight spine position. If you want to really round and get fluid and really take the head into it and round, that's fine too. If you find yourself off balance or that bothers your spine, first option is more of a chair pose and a throw. When you throw back forcefully and gain access to those triceps. Inhale, gather up some air, gather up some things you want to get rid of, bend the knees and let that go. Inhale, reach, open the spine any amount. Exhale and keep going. Maybe add from the gut, really deep. Let that out. That can be really good for dislodging any held tension and gaining access to a softer you because you've gotten rid of some of the stress. One more. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands through to the heart. Just pause and breathe. That probably got your heart rate up. You want to find your breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plank pose. Skip this if you're out of breath. Vinyasa if you like. And downward facing dog. From here, you might want a blanket for your back knee. Right leg reaches out and back. Hug it in, round, 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 round. Now seal that right foot down for your right side lunge. Lower your left knee to the mat. If you want blocks here, you can use blocks. Breathing. Stay here or take the hands up to the front thigh. Broaden through those left hip flexors. Top of the back foot can be down or the toes can be tucked, whatever feels best for the hips and the lumbar. Stay here or reach the arms. Maybe root the floor a little bit more to lift the heart a little bit, and maybe the gaze. Find freedom. I know that's a lot, and this actually restricts your breath a little bit, but it's still there. Inhale, exhale, hands through to the heart. Now on this one, you might want to scoot the back knee a little closer in. We're going to rise all the way up, okay? So you're not exactly 90-90 here, but, and again, you might want to blanket under the back knee, but you're not as far forward with the pelvis. And then bring your hands to the heart. Inhale, exhale, make a high twist towards that front knee. You can either stay exactly here or begin to take the pelvis a little bit forward, taking the tricep of the left arm to the outside of the right knee and spinning around. You can keep your hands in prayer pose or stack one fist on top of one palm or any other variation, even if you like to take a bind. Breathing here. Very slowly, looking down at the floor, stabilize. Take your hands there, lift the back knee, come into plank pose. Breathe in your plank pose. If you want a little more challenge, keep the feet close together. If you want it a little bit easier, feet wider apart. Left arm goes forward, out to the side, back along the left leg, and down. You can skip this if needed. Right arm alongside of the right ear, out to the right, alongside of the right leg, and down. Child's pose or downward dog. Breathing whichever option you've chosen. If you're feeling really strong today and you want to move through vinyasa, then you do that. You have the freedom to say yes to things, and you have the freedom to say no, in yoga and in life. The world goes on if you say no. Breathing, maybe swaying a little side to side, getting a little bit more into that back body space. And then from here, root into your palms. You might want a blanket handy. Left leg is going to reach up. Round into center, hold, and now seal the left foot down into your left side lunge. Back knee roots, shoulder blades come onto the back. Steady and breathe here. And now, option to stay here or to rise up a little bit with that torso. Shoulder blades keep rolling back. This might be exactly where you stay, and it might work exactly right for you. Maybe the arms come up. If the arms do come up, root the floor a little bit more, expand a little bit more through the sternum, and breathe. You're free to come into the poses and out of the poses as necessary. Inhale, and exhale, hands to the heart. So let's shift back a little bit, and we might have to scoot that front foot forward. Again, knee might have a blanket underneath it. Inhale. Exhale, high twist. We're going in the direction of that front knee. And then either stay here in that high twist or lean forward. Pelvis will come a little bit more forward. You might even use your other hand to get that right tricep to the outside of the left knee and spin open any amount. You could be stacking hand on fist, breathing here. And the gaze doesn't have to be up. Very carefully looking down. Hands come down, back knee lifts. Step into your plank pose. For more difficult, ball joints together. For easier, but still hard, ball joints apart. From here, a little bit different. Reach your left arm out to the left. Breathe here. And then turn the palm facing up so the thumb turns back. And then take that forearm onto your low back and breathe. Try to take your ribs and roll them down towards the floor so that they're more parallel than rolled out to the side. And left hand down. Right arm gets a chance out to the right side. If this is too much, come down at any time. Roll the palm up, thumb points behind you. That's internal shoulder rotation. And then from here, take that forearm onto your low back. Roll the rib cage parallel to the floor. Breathing. You're stronger than you think you are. Unwind and lower the hands down, lower the knees. If you can, go wide with the knees, toes together, and either come to the forearms or fully down into your child's pose. Let the belly go. So what you were just doing took a whole lot of stabilization through the core and a lot of work, and this is the rest to complement that work. So be wholeheartedly in the resting. And so this wider knees child's pose is a little bit of a prep for our malasana. So we want to find freedom, and we want to find it in the hips too, to a beneficial degree, not too much, not too little. From here, fingertips come down. You're gonna tuck your toes, turn your heels towards each other, and sit back into a squat. If the heels didn't quite touch the floor, you can either put a blanket underneath those, or a block underneath the sitting bones, or you can step your feet a little wider apart and see if the heels will come down if the torso comes up. Okay? Hands can be on the floor or at the heart center. Softness through the neck, softness through the jaw. All right. So we're gonna work active and passive here. So from here, press into the outer edges of your feet. Of course, the ball joints are pressing too, the big toe balls, but root into the outer edges of the feet so you're not collapsed in the arches. Lift up out of the pelvis a little bit until you start to feel you're lifting away from the floor. Inhale, and exhale, soften it all down. Go very, very passive. Soften even the inner thighs a little bit, okay? So from here, once again, press into the outer edges of the feet. Grow 2 inches out of the pelvis, let the hips lift. Really good strengthening for the hips. And exhale, go passive, let the hips drop down, soften. Last one, press into the floor, let the hips lift just a little bit. You'll feel it, yeah. And then exhale, go passive. This time we're gonna go passive, passive, passive into a curling down position. Head hangs. If you need to sit down or change this posture in any way, do that. And then fingertips to the floor. Start to raise the hips slowly up, toes turn forward, and then swish the torso a little side to side. Back into the freedom of the hamstrings. We're not looking for 2-mile-long hamstrings today. We're looking for just the right amount of space today. And then from here, bend the knees. Let the arms and head dangle and roll 1 vertebrae at a time. All the way up. And roll that out. Okay, so we're gonna go a little bit deeper into this freedom and this letting go. So turning into that wide stance again, facing whichever device you're using here. Hi. All right, we're going to put a little bit of repetitive movement in, okay? So first, just freeing up through the joints a little bit, just bend one knee and the other. And what I want you to do is not make this very like Mr. Roboto, like I want you to kind of soften into it. Maybe the head goes around, and then maybe you start to sway the arms a little side to side. So this is like getting into it however you need to. And the only thing that's staying the same is that you're bending one knee and the other. Maybe you bring the arms into it. When you start to overthink it, that's when you start to be like, but I can't move that way. I've been taught I shouldn't move that way. That's silly. Yeah, you can move that way because you have a body, and so naturally you can move. Move however you want. Don't think about it. And then from here, we'll start to take it a little bit into a fold and swaying a little side to side with a swing, okay? So it's kind of gorilla-like, let it be. All right, learn from the animal kingdom. Sway, 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 swish, swish, swish. And then just imagine that pots and pans and all of the overthinking and all of the negative thinking and the limiting beliefs, all of that are just clambering down and falling out. Falling out, you're shaking them all out. They're coming out of your heart, they're coming out of your head. Let them go. Anything that anyone ever said that didn't work or hurt your feelings or made you feel some way less about yourself, let it go, let it go, let it go. And then come to the center and shake it out. And then roll 1 vertebra at a time, all the way up. And just bring your hands to your heart. So notice if that movement, being weird or awkward or less structured, brought up any resistance for you. It does for a lot of people. I get it. I totally get it. You survived it, right? Yeah, it's just movement. Deep breath in and sigh it out. We're gonna come into a little more external rotation with the hips here. Turn the toes out and the heels in a little bit so you're roughly 45 degrees with the feet, whatever feels best in the hips. Bring your hands to your heart. And then we're just gonna start to alternate the taps in our heels. So you're gonna pick the heels up and alternate a tap. This isn't going to take much to start to give you a little bit of feedback through the hips, through the groin, all of that. And that's okay, that's okay. You are strong, you can do that. So up and down, you might slow this down. Maybe slowing would be better for you. So listen in. If you want a little bit more work, the arms are gonna come up. If you want more work than that, the palms are gonna come together. Breathing here. So we're looking for some fire, and instead of fire to like burn us out, we're looking for fire to burn us forward with passion, right? Into whatever endeavors we'd like to do. Stay with it. Work those inner thighs, work those glutes. 3, 2, 1, pause, 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 pause. See that you're in the discomfort, understand that this is just a shape, be in the discomfort, and then free yourself slowly from it. Slowly, slowly, slowly come out of it. Feel that freedom. Ooh, doesn't that feel good? Turn the heels out. Inhale, reach. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana, fold. Walk in any amount. If you want to take the ankles or yogi toe lock around the big toes, feel free to add that in. I'm going to give you an option for some shoulder stuff here. Option, if the balance allows, is to take the hands, thumbs towards the spine, elbows back, shoulder blades back, fold in here. Alternately, you might interlace the fingers, coil the shoulder blades onto the back. Inhale, exhale, let the hands come away from the tail, any amount within reason, and use your breath. Soften the neck, relax your jaw, breathe here. Give yourself space, give yourself time to evolve. We're ever evolving, and it's not always linear. Very careful, with or without the bind. You might bend your knees to come all the way up. Take it slow, especially if you have low blood pressure. And when you get to the top, soften that all out. Rolling the shoulders around. Let's take the feet a little closer together, maybe wider than hips distance, and then just send the neck around into a circle, or maybe just side to side. If anything else needs to process through, just give yourself space right now for whatever's coming up to process through. Why not? And then hang your head down towards the heart, and one vertebra at a time, take it all the way up, and sigh out, shake that out. We're gonna come to the top of the mat, take a vinyasa, and we'll come closer to the ground. So, whatever this vinyasa looks like for you, marry it with your breath. I'm not going to talk you through this one. I'd like you to talk you through internally this one with intention, with breath. We will eventually meet in downward facing dog. And here we are in downward dog. Take a deep breath in, sigh out. Next one's going to be an Om. Inhale fully. Slow to child's pose. Ohms when you're in a downward dog sound different than ohms when you're not, just because of your relationship to gravity and how your body is positioned differently. Find your breathing. In your child's pose, you might rock a little side to side with the hips rolling over one thigh and then the other just a little bit. And then from here, puppy pose. Forearms come down. Knees might need a blanket here if you'd like. The knees aren't way in here, but they're more underneath the hips, okay? Toes slightly tucked. Inhale, open your chest, lift your hips. Exhale, round the spine, drape the head, open the shoulder blades, draw the core back. Inhale, and what I mean is the deep front core. Inhale, come up. And exhale, reverse rounding. Last one, really good for the shoulders as well as the organs. Open up and then really condensing here. Good for the spine, obviously. And neutralize that out. Come to the hands and then just walk your knees forward, your arms back, and bring the legs forward and shake it out. Lean back very casually and just let the ankles roll side to side. Maybe come back into the neck. So wherever you don't feel free, take a moment and just kind of iron out the kinks. And note that at any time, if you're cognizant of it, you can provide freedom to your body and your breath and your mind and your heart at any time. It's just knowing that you were stunted and then offering some freedom. All right, so let's go ahead and come on down to the mat. If you want to use a strap here, you can feel free to grab a strap. So roll it on down, hug the knees in, rock a little side to side. And here's if you want to use the strap, but you can do it without a strap, so don't worry. Soles of the feet come down. Draw the left knee in and interlace behind the thigh or behind the calf or the foot. And then from here, find any amount of extension. This might look like a bent knee, and that's totally fine. As long as you're feeling a stretch and you're gentle in your breathing, you're doing it right. Only extend the lower leg if you feel really open here and you have no lumbar issues, no low back issues or anything at all. So only extend that lower leg if that's the case. Spread both sets of toes out and breathe. If it helps you to bend the knee, then straighten. Bend, then straighten, you can. And you might not come all the way straight, just to keep some softness behind that knee. Oh gosh, more dog hair. Shh. I don't have dog hair all over me. Yes, I do. And then from here, very carefully bend the top knee, cross the midline over to the other side. It doesn't have to touch the floor. And then reach the left arm out into a cactus or a reach, wherever it feels good for the pectorals and the shoulder, and breathe here. Breathing that twist. Just being yourself, making a shape, not overthinking it, definitely not criticizing it. And slowly coming back into the midline. We're going to start the same way, soles of the feet down, knees bent. This time the right knee comes in, and then you'll interlace, or you could use your strap, again, behind the leg. The strap will go over the arch of the right foot. And just find where you need to be for your length, maybe the knee's bent. And only extend the left leg if that just feels phenomenal for the whole body. If it doesn't, go back into a bend. Breathing here. Spread both sets of toes. Spread your breath out. So I like to think about my breath like, you know, when you pour oil in a hot pan and you move the pan around so that the oil coats the whole pan. You kind of want the breath to coat the whole body, finding that. And then bend that top knee in and cross the midline and find your twist. So you can take your right arm out to the side or bent. Your left hand might come to the outside of the right knee. Neck can be in whatever position feels right to you. Softening here. Coating the body with the breath. And then draw back in through the midline. Soles of the feet come down. Stay here if that's best for your low back, or take your legs long in front of you. Maybe put a bolster or a blanket under the legs. Arms where you want them for Shavasana, for your final relaxation pose. May you feel the freedom of letting your body go and be totally supported by the earth. During this one lifetime in this form that we have, may we truly find what it is to be freely ourselves. And sometimes that's just a breath away. So stay in Shavasana as long as you would like. I want to thank you personally for showing up, for taking time for a practice, for feeding into yourself so you can better feed out into the world and offer to the people who you love, and even to strangers, right? Being the change that you wish to see in the world. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.